Hey, what's up? Andrew Kramer here for VideoCopilot.net, and welcome to our very first Shortcuts episode. Now, what is a Shortcuts episode? Well, basically, it's like a fun-sized candy bar, okay? It's a short tutorial. We're going to show you some quick tips, techniques, and other cool stuff, and hopefully just waste 1 to 5 minutes of your time instead of, 20 to 30. It's win-win. Anyway, let's go and jump right in. I'd give you a better explanation, but, time is of the essence. Okay, so what I have here is a 3D light, and if I move it around, you can see that we have this bump mapping going on in the background. And using that texture, I can create sort of a 3D bump map effect. Now, the other thing we're going to talk about is converting a 3D position to a 2D position. So, for example, I have a lens flare here. And if you know a lens flare, it's only two-dimensional. You move it, X and Y. But our light is in 3D space. But using a simple expression, we're going to link that to our light. And this way, when we move our light around in 3D, our beautiful lens flare follows along. And bam, we can have lens flares all over the place. So let's go and get started. Shoot, we only got like 1 minute left. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and create a new composition. And we're going to use the widescreen D1 preset. I'm going to choose OK. And then I'm going to take our grunge texture from the Riot Gear collection at VideoCopilot.net. I'm going to scale it down just a bit. And then I'm going to choose Layer Pre-Compose. And I'll move all attributes into the new comp. We'll call this Texture. Choose OK. Now I'm going to change the layer to a 3D layer. And then I'm going to create a new 3D light. We'll make it a blue color. Choose OK. And point light and OK. The other thing we'll do is create a new solid that's dark blue. And create just a little bit of a vignette around the edges. I'm going to double click on the ellipse mask tool. Hit F. Subtract the mask. And then feather it out. Then I'm going to hit F4. Change the mode to, let's say, classic color burn, hit T, and lower the opacity. Bam. So we got to do it quick. We only got like 30 seconds left. Now, here's our texture, and we want to add that bump map effect. So we're going to go to the effects and presets. We'll type in glass, and we're going to drag that onto the texture layer. And right away we see some weird distortion happening, but I'm going to go into the surface properties, into the light, change it from light type distant to point light, and then we want to play with the softness, bring it down a lot, and maybe the height down as well to maybe about 3. And so now you can see we're sort of seeing a bit of a 3D effect, and we can increase it just a bit to see it better. And if we lower the softness, it kind of creates an interesting effect. Now, if we move the light position around, you can see it's creating bump mapping based on that point. Now, the only problem is that this is a 2D coordinate and this is a 3D coordinate. So now, if you've ever tried to link a 3D object and a 2D object together, it's a little tricky and it doesn't always work depending on the angle of the camera. So what we're going to do is use a simple expression. I'm going to Alt-click on the light position, and it creates an expression. And what I'm going to do is pick whip, delete what's in here, and then pick whip the light. Just the name light. And then we're going to type dot to comp parentheses bracket 0, 0, 0 bracket, parentheses, semicolon. So what that's going to do is convert that 3D position to a 2D position. And now you can see our bump mapping follows along, and it's kind of created a cool 3D effect. Now, the other thing we can do is go to the texture and play with the shading options of the glass filter. So we can turn, say, the diffuse down, and that makes it look a little bit wetter, maybe a little bit shinier, and maybe increase the specular. And that looks pretty cool. Now, to create a source point, what I did is I created a new solid, and I made it white. And I made just a little circle. And then choose Effect, Stylize Glow. And we'll make it, blue and light blue. Shut the mask off for just a second and change it to alpha channel. And once you do that, those settings look pretty good, and duplicate it. And then soften the second one a little bit. So now it's kind of just a soft point. You can also feather the mask a couple of pixels. And then hit P, and we're going to copy that same expression that's on our texture here and paste it to the position of this. So Alt-click on the stopwatch and just paste it. So now, if we move the light around, they both move. And then we can hit P on the light, Alt-click, type wiggle, 0.5, 250. And just do a quick RAM preview. Okay, so as you can see, it's kind of a cool effect, and it works pretty well. Now for the lens flare, I'm going to create a new black solid. Choose Effect, Generate Lens Flare. Again, I'm going to Alt-click on the flare center, and we're going to add that expression again. I just pasted it from before. And we'll change the transfer mode to screen. And so there you go. Everything's all linked up. Now, I don't like the color of the lens flare, so I always add a curves adjustment and kind of tint it a bluish color for this case. And also, if I go to the RGB channel, I can crush it out just a bit. Now, sometimes it gets a little oversaturated, so I add a tint effect and just bring it down just a bit to match it nicely. And now I figure these take about 5 minutes, and according to my math, if I spent 2 hours doing that, I could probably do 500 episodes or so. And we're gonna have to check on the math, but that's like 5 million every month. And I'm not saying I have time to do 5 million, but certainly I have time to do a couple of million. And like I said, the more fun-sized candy bars you get, the better Halloween is. Well, anyway, my name's Andrew Kramer, and thanks for watching.